Mike, forget the money because we don't make enough of it. So let's not talk about pay-per-view and how skint a billionaire is going to be as he goes forward making more fights, and a fighter equally. There's 2 fights coming up, okay? One's a rematch and one's delayed 20-odd months from when, or one's a third fight and one's delayed 20-odd months. It's a bit of a loaded question. It's Pulev and Joshua, maybe at the new Spurs stadium, and there's going to be Wilder and Fury, noticeably indoors. All that grand, bold talk about 72,000 a new Raiders stadium, that's been dropped. That's vanished somewhere since Fury's fist ruined Wilder. Which one are you? And it's an obvious question. Well, no, maybe it's not obvious. Which one are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, they're of equal interest to me, Steve, because of what happens further down the line, because both of them have to win. Fury has to win and Joshua has to win.
2 semi-finals.
For this massive occasion over here to happen. So you're right, it's like semi-finals. And the thing with Fury against Wilder is, yes, Wilder was emphatically beaten, but he does have the dig. He does have that right hand. And if there's a different approach next time around, if he tries to stand his ground in the middle of the ring, then there's a chance he can land that shot. And as far as Pulev is concerned, I happen to think he's in that rung below the absolute elite. But you've got Bob Arum saying that he's absolutely convinced that he's going to knock out Anthony Joshua. And Joshua is at a stage of his career where he's having to prove himself again. And so there is jeopardy in this fight. But I think also the danger for Anthony Joshua is the one that was present in the first fight against Andy Ruiz, where he tries to look too impressive. The key for Joshua is to fight Anthony Joshua's fight, not our fight, not the media's fight, not the fans' fight. And that's absolutely key here. But genuinely, it's not a politician's answer. I'm fascinated by both of them because of what it means further down the line. And maybe, do you think then that we would see Fury against Joshua, if they both win, later this year in 2020?
In theory, that could be the plan. You could have it December somewhere. But I just can't see Fury fighting 3 times in a year.
If anyone, I can see him, Steve. Well, because of what it means to him.
Mike, I can't see either of them fighting in December. It feels like a May fight next year. It feels like a May fight next year. But then that would mean they'd both have to fight again. Or would Joshua just work on the one fight? Would Fury be happy going from mid to late, whatever it is, June 18th, all the way over the summer, all the way through the fall? I suppose in theory, they could announce the fight in December. They could have the fight in April. So really, he could go and be back in camp just after Christmas. Still an awful long time for a man who tells us that he's not happy not training on Sunday. We're basically taking him away for 6 months. Unless, of course, he's got a whole tour lined up with the wrestling, which he obviously loves. That's not something that was a comedy one-off insertion. He fancies that. He really fancies that. And as for Joshua, the thing that maybe that needs to be added here, Mike, is that Pulev will go for it. Which, in all fairness, he will have a go. He's not going there trying to get through cagey 12 rounds, which might have happened had they fought in October 2018 down in Cardiff. It might have been that fight. It might not be as good a fight as we're going to get. Pulev has to go for it because Ruiz went for it and he won. And there's always going to be a question mark now over Joshua. If you talk to the people over here in the anti-Joshua camp, he's got no chin, he's got no guts. If you talk to people over here, they'll tell you he survived a terrible year last year, eventually won the title, changed his tactics, nothing wrong with his chin and his guts. And the rest of us are somewhere in the middle. And Pulev will be over here in the Joshua's got nothing camp. Let's get that absolutely straight. He'll be getting in that ring with Bob Arum whispering in his ear, with the people around him whispering how easy it's going to be to beat that guy.
And Pulev hurt Vladimir Klitschko in the first round and hurt him with a jab.
And had a go, Mike,
so there is a chance, and did have a go. And he's beaten Hughie Fury and Derek Chisora, which is a sign that he belongs very close to the elite. But as I say, for me, he's in that rung just below. But Anthony Joshua has a chance, I think, to help to re-establish himself. And in the end, he's just got to win, and Fury wins, and then we get on the bandwagon to push for a fight later in the year. And I'm thinking, Steve, that same December weekend in Saudi Arabia.
That's what I was going to say. So
it could possibly happen. That's the best part of 5 months later.
So it doesn't work inside. It's too big. It doesn't work outdoors. It's too cold. You don't want to go to Millennium with a roof on in December. That will freeze everybody. But it could work. And I kind of agree with you. It could work outdoors in Saudi in an even bigger arena. That's what you're thinking is. And also, as you spotted, Omar Khalil, the guy who was the Saudi fixer and shaker behind the first big fight involving Joshua in Saudi, he was out there in Las Vegas, as we noted on a podcast, and I was told by someone out there, "You've given the game away." I said, "No, he gave the game away by wandering around at the weigh-in. I didn't give the game away. Anyway, it was Costello, not me. Don't blame me. What I was going to blame?"